The Minnesota man's passion project during the pandemic has turned into a reminder that the story of our lives is worth sharing. Garrett LeMain knew that was true when he started jotting down essays about unique moments across his 86 years. Now he is inspiring others to do the same. Jeff Wagner shares the story.
A little Bach piece, it's called Jesu Joy.
The soundtrack to Garrett LeMain's life booms in his basement, each tune bringing back memories. The talented musician loves to regale, like one of his favorites displayed atop his organ.
I mean, to sit next to Louis Armstrong for a whole week on the stage and to talk with him every day and to see who he really was.
Garrett met Armstrong in 1967 during his stint as the music director for the Lowell Showboat in Michigan. Years later,
the one with the white coat.
The then high school choir director found himself on the White House Rose Garden.
We showed up and did our concert for the president.
When he wasn't helping students learn to sing, he was keeping hockey fans entertained.
You've lived this incredibly unique life. I guess what drew you to wanting to jot it all down?
Partially, I think, the fact of realizing that I was getting older.
When the COVID-19 pandemic started, Garrett's hands and mind went to work, not on his organ, but notepads and computers, writing detailed essays about all those cherished memories to share with his children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren.
And rather than to just do a biography of dates and whatever, why not connect that to stories that actually happened to me and motivated me?
They're all here. They're in alpha order right now.
His wife, Betty, organizes and proofreads them.
But I mean, the ideas and the words, and they're all his.
Before his family gladly receives them.
I think when we got about to, I don't know, maybe 40, it's like, wow, we're getting a lot of these.
Carla Latham appreciated her dad's perspective as a child, specifically when his family, then living in the Netherlands, survived the Nazi invasion at the start of World War II.
I mean, the Germans just flat bombed the center of the town. Had no military target in mind at all. This was just a psychological thing. And so the next 5 years really was occupation by the Germans.
It was all interesting, and I thought it'd be nice to have these essays collected in one place and have them in a book.
The idea turned into a gift, Garrett's notes, showcasing his journey from Europe to the U.S. and his colorful life that followed. All family members got a copy of the book for Christmas.
So the book was well received, and then I think he got the bug and, hey, let's do something bigger. Can we do something else with it?
From selling on Amazon to readings at assisted living facilities, Garrett's stories are now spreading well beyond his loved ones.
I feel blessed to be part of all of this.
For the person that's not a family member, what do you hope they get out of the book?
Everybody has opportunities, and it's what you do. Do you say yes or do you say no?
I think the theme I see through the book is take the different path. Don't be afraid to say yes. And I think he said yes a lot.
A special work commissioned by the Minnesota Orchestra made its world premiere in May. It looks at equity, justice, peace, and healing after the murder of George Floyd. WCCO's Jennifer Merrily sat in on the first rehearsal and learned what it took to get there.
I think of art as a charged entity that can animate anyone who gets near it. And that's what I think this piece does. It animates the idea of American justice.
Composer Carlos Simon and librettist Mark Bamoudi Joseph are the artists commissioned to bring breadth to Orchestra Hall, uniting the orchestra, a choir of 150, along with spoken word in an epic work in response to the murder of George Floyd.
That brought us one more day to get it right.
I lean on Mark heavily as far as like the text is concerned, I didn't start writing a note until I heard what he had to actually say in the piece.
Before the sun rose that day, the corner knew.
The choir is accenting a lot of the words that he's saying. These are like very poignant but very small phrases, but they have power.
The two spent time in Minneapolis with the community and at George Floyd Square ahead of developing the groundbreaking work.
I wanted to get the spirit of the city and what it felt like to embed that into the work.
A through line is American promise. The idea of yearning and the idea of a yearning for American future.
Rooted in Minneapolis, the piece is presented in 3 sections, bringing the audience along for a journey to reflect, process, and consider the possibility of an equitable future.
If art can do anything, especially post-pandemic, it can create a site where we can heal together in public. So it makes all the sense that the piece is premiering here and now.
In Minneapolis, Jennifer Mearley, WCCO News.
We all love our family pets, but unfortunately, they really don't live as long as we do. Photojournalist Joe Berglove caught up with a South Minneapolis family who is going the extra mile for their elderly dog, Maggie, and in return, she's going the extra mile for them.
We adopted her 11 years ago on this day, so it's a special anniversary. She's half Labrador and half Chesapeake Bay Retriever. And we did a DNA test, got the results, pie chart, half and half. She was a teenager when we first got her, kind of lanky and kind of dopey. 2 summers ago, she had a routine knee surgery. Some metal parts were put into the knee just to hold things in place. They got infected. The news was, this is one of the worst joints I've ever seen on a dog. She needs either an amputation or a total knee replacement. At that point, it was just, with all the pins, the bone had been compromised. Honestly, amputation, it's a very scary thing. We got through the winter, and I just kind of thought when we amputated, this is the beginning of the end. We'll enjoy whatever time we have left with her, but I wasn't expecting too much time. And in February, the vet called and said, we have a cart that was donated. It might fit Maggie. Bring her in. We went in and they put it on her and just a few adjustments, and she was practically running down the hall at the vet with this cart.
She's still herself, still has loads of energy. It hasn't killed her spirit at all. I'm not here anymore. She sends me a picture every day. I ask for a picture a day just because I miss her so much.
There we go. Should we go for a walk? Let's go. She's doing a lot better than I expected, which is wonderful. We can do our long routes again. There we go. I see a lot of people driving by in the car, smiling. There was a guy at the Washburn parking lot. He said, without any really expression on his face, you must really love that dog. Good for you. She's got a good life. And oh, that's really sweet for you to say. Yeah. Let's go this way, good girl. She's just been, I guess, kind of the center of the family, to be honest. We all just love her so much.
Coming up, we are meeting some Minnesota-bred world champions, why their friendship was key to taking home the gold.